Before we go on to football, guys, I want to do a quick read from our new sponsor, Living for We. Guys, what happens when a regular day at school turns into the worst day of your life? Unfortunately, that's a reality that is happening way too frequently in today's world. Gun violence is the leading cause of death for young people in America. In communities of color, the impact is even greater. Every bullet fired creates two victims, the person in front of the gun and the one pulling the trigger. Living for We, keep your head up. It is an award-winning podcast that focuses on real stories, real struggles, and real solutions in Northeast Ohio. New episodes drop every other Tuesday where you'll hear from host Marlene Harris-Taylor and her new co-host, Maisha Watkins, Executive Director of Cleveland Peacemakers. No one does a better job of bringing you stories from the front lines, victims, survivors, and those fighting for change. Each episode, we sit down with a different organization that's working to end gun violence and provide resources to those affected by gun violence. Whatever kind of help you need, there's a person for you to contact. Listen to Living for We wherever you get your podcast or watch the video version on IdeaStream's YouTube channel. Subscribe today to Living for We on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, good stuff. And they are the title sponsor for the Ultimate 216 show. We're very happy about that. Congratulations to Earl and Cecil, who Cecil now hosting, Cecil Shorts, of course, hosting with Earl on the Ultimate 216 show. Guys, yesterday the Browns posted via social media about the fact that they're moving forward with their plans to open a stadium in Brook Park for the 2029 season. Obviously, is the plan. They want to break ground, I believe, by next year, which would give them 3 years to get the stadium ready. They're also going to build a whole community, I guess, like Crocker Park.
Is that supposed to be ready by 29 too, or is they just focused on the stadium?
I don't know about.
It has to start with the stadium and the rest.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Build around it. You've been to the Patriots Stadium, you guys?
I've been to Foxborough.
The Patriots, yes.
Yeah. So they have like a whole huge shopping mall there.
Oh, the Vikings is like connected to the thing.
Too. Yeah. And what I imagine is they're like Crocker Park are kind of surrounding the stadium.
Yep.
The Browns put in this release that they're putting over, $2 million into the project. $2 billion. I don't know if that's just for the stadium. Supposedly the stadium's going to cost $2.4 billion. I don't know. These things are, who knows? I'm no economist.
So he's putting in $2 billion.
Well,
so
yes.
According to the release they put out yesterday, the overall project is going to cost around $3.4 billion. That's their expectation.
Okay.
Oh, I thought I read 2.3. Okay,
$3.4 billion was the whole project, and the Haslam Sports
with the stores and all that.
He said the whole project, so I assume that means the whole facility. And then his sports group, the Haslam Sports Group, is committed up to $2 billion of their own money.
Committed. It should be. Yeah. As if they're doing something.
And Schefter,
it should be all their money. It's their thing. They're committed to putting $2 billion. It's their effing thing. They should put every dollar.
So where's the 1.4 coming from?
That's my question.
Well, our idiot politicians that run this state just handed them $600 million.
So there's half of it.
Because we always get
So now the people are responsible for 800.
We have kids that can't get meals in the city of Cleveland. They probably don't have any computers there. That I don't know for a fact. I'm sure in the city of Akron, in the city of Canton, in Cincinnati, in Toledo, in Dayton, in Columbus. I'm sure there's poor kids that, God forbid, they get a free lunch at school. But let's hand the billionaire $600 million to put up his palace that they're going to lie and tell you is going to be great for the area, which I'm not saying it's necessarily going to be bad for the area. I have no idea. But it's not going to benefit legitimately anybody's pocketbook except for Jimmy Haslam and his cohorts. So let's keep it real. And get mad at me if you want. I don't know why you want. I'm out for the little guy. But the only one benefiting financially significantly is Jimmy Haslam and his investors.
They did put in there that the Haslam Sports Group contributing $2 billion to the project.
Stop saying contributing.
Paying.
It's his thing.
Well, whatever. Spending $2 billion on the project is the most an owner has ever spent.
I don't care.
Terms of their own
spend
project.
it all. It's his money. It's his thing.
Sorry. Let me get to that's what I'm trying to say.
Go ahead.
I thought the dude from LA bought the
I'm just angry about it.
So Kroenke spent $5 billion. That's the most ever. This would be the second most that an owner has ever spent in his own project. But when they put it right next to Kroenke, who spent $5 billion on his own project, and I see 3.4 and they're doing 2, and I know, hey, where's the rest of the 1.4 coming from? Listen, if it gets done, it gets done. Great. however it gets done, it's going to happen, and Jimmy's not going to pay for it all. If Stan Kroenke could pay $5 billion, Jimmy could pay 3.4.
Exactly. And by the way, 3.4 billion in Brook Park, Ohio, has got, I'm assuming, goes much further than $5 billion in Los Angeles.
I would assume so.
I would imagine, yeah.
I'm not a real estate agent, but I'm going to guess that property in Brook Park is not equivalent to property in
the West Coast.
I know LA.
How many acres was it? 176?
What's that?
Was it 176 acres in total?
That was what they bought when they bought the land. I'm not sure what the project necessarily would be. So if you want to use that number for comparison's sake, it's a good number to look
Jimmy Haslam is a multi-billionaire. He bought the Browns for
$300 million. Wasn't it
that low?
What?
No, I don't think
it. No, it can't
What's
be.
the team valuation now? $2 billion?
Forbes Browns evaluation.
I mean, he bought it for definitely less than $1 billion. I don't remember exactly how much he paid for it. He invested money in the Bucks. Well, take that money.
He got the crew to
take that money, Jimmy, and spend it on your own team.
The Browns are evaluated, according to Forbes, at $5.15 billion.
Okay, he spent less than $1 billion on the team. It's a decade later. He's done nothing but lose. He's won one playoff game. He's the laughingstock owner in the league. And
he paid $1 billion for the Browns.
He paid $1 billion. It's worth 4 times that amount. He's super rich. He hires his family members. Everybody's all worried about DEI. Meanwhile, this guy is handing his jobs to family members that have earned nothing. His son-in-law's an idiot. And he got handed a high-pay executive job for no other reason. He doesn't have qualifications. The only reason he got the job is because he's his son-in-law.
When you saw the video, you know what my first thought was? They better have a winning team in there.
The whole thing looks awesome. I'll say that.
It looks incredible. It looks incredible. But I think Earl may have tweeted this, and I was like, spot on. But this looks amazing. Every ounce of this looks like perfection. Like, I don't think if you're going to put out a rendering.
Well, I mean, what rendering don't you like?
But this one looks everything you'd want to have in a rendering of a stadium that has.
I don't know how.
Except a winning football team. You got to put a winning product in that stadium, or else this is just delaying the inevitable of us getting pissed off about a disappointing Browns team again.
I can't believe there's even enough room there to do all of that. It doesn't seem like there's enough space there.
It looks incredible, top notch.
I kind of think it's cool the way you walk in and you're way above the field.
It looks everything about this looks immaculate.
The field is deep in the ground.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
Yeah,
it gives me hope. For some odd reason, it just gives me hope.
Shedeur Sanders gives me hope. Cam Ward gives me hope. That doesn't give me hope.
For all my criticisms that I just went through. This looks amazing, and I would love to go to games there. So I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, I would imagine, like, as a player, like, I don't know how many players outside of Miles is going to be on this team by that time. But, like, just think, like, in 28, like, just the season of 2028, my last season in downtown.
Yeah.
Like, you got to play with so much passion because – the thing that everybody points out is that stadium's been there all those years and it's never hosted a home playoff game. So for like now until 28, like that should be on my mind, like, which I'm sure it is. Nobody wants to lose. So but to think like that's a little bit of more motivation. Like at least let me get a city of Cleveland before we move to Brook Park, which I don't know why everybody's still in this whole thing. I get it. I get the whole it's 15 minutes away. It's not technically Cleveland. I get those things. But at the end of the day, I want to give the city of Cleveland, downtown at least, just one good memory, like one great memory. Because to me, the best atmosphere that I've witnessed in that stadium was
the Jets game.
The Jets game.
Yeah, that was crazy. Downtown was crazy.
What was that? They clinched the playoff.
Yeah, it was week 17. They clinched the playoff spot.
I don't think the Browns have ever played a playoff game in this.
No, that's the point.
They've not even played one.
That's my point.
Yeah, right.
So I'm saying last year against the Jets in the regular season when they clinched the playoff seed, like that was the best atmosphere I've ever seen in the Browns stadium.
Isn't that crazy?
So think about that. Yeah. Now I'm sure it's different. Everybody got their own stories. Obviously, I'm only 31 years old, but to me, as a 31-year-old guy, when I think about the Browns, the best environment I've ever been was Week 16, 17 game against the Jets, who was not good. Like I want to be like, I was there when they beat this team in the playoffs.
Beat the Chiefs in the playoffs.
Yeah, like that. I want that type of feeling, and they got right now the clock is on. They got, 3 seasons to get that done.
You think that's going to happen? You think you'll see that in the next 3 years?
I mean, right
you bet on
now it's so far-fetched.
Yeah.
But I want to be on record to say that the Browns won't be picking top 10 next year. I told y'all that. I'm standing on it. They will not have a top 10 pick unless they trade for one. So I'm gonna say maybe not this year. Maybe not next year. I think that last season, 28, I think it can happen.
Because it's 4. There's actually 4 seasons.
Yeah, 25, 26, 27, 28.
27 and 28, I think would be really good seasons.
I did think,
which ironically, I think Deshaun off the books at that time.
Well, not financially.
Not off the books, but I don't think he's off the roster at that time.
I thought the funniest part of the entire rollout the Browns did yesterday was in the release they sent out. If you actually read it, there was a lot of legal jargon and stuff like, this is what we're going to do. They bodied the city of Cleveland. Like, they basically gave the middle finger to the city of Cleveland saying,
yes, they did.
The Modell law that you are trying to enact is irrelevant to this case. Look at example A, B, C, D, E, F, and G of why it's not. And they put it in such plain language and basically said, we're moving forward, putting shovels in the ground, like, you ain't stopping us, that I am now fascinated to see how the city responds.
I don't really like any of that.
It doesn't matter.
I think it's unseemly from
the politicians. They bodied the city.
It's unseemly from these high-ranking executives. I think it's ugly all around. I don't think it's good for the city. I don't frankly understand. I mean, I don't know. It's all bullshit politics. I got a beef with the head of the city council because of dirty stuff going on there. I don't like any of it. I don't like the Browns in this situation. I don't love the city in this situation. I don't like how it's being handled, period. It's not benefiting the fans. And both sides are going to give you these bullshit platitudes about why this is good for you, the fan. Keep in mind, they don't really care. There's agendas here at play on both sides here and that I don't like.
So the Browns are getting a dome.
I'm going to make everybody hate me.
Bottom line.
The Browns are getting a dome. Yes, we knew they were. Once they said they wanted it, we knew it was happening. It was never getting stopped. You know, pockets have been filled and,
I mean,
here we are.
Like I say, the only bad thing is the time when we went over them prices to, like, what was them, season tickets? That was ridiculous. Like, who?
It's gonna be expensive as shit.
You get a Journey concert.
Ooh, man.
Tyvis, that's a
no. That's just happening. That's happening now. Yeah. You might get Taylor Swift in the dome, though.
You might.
It's gonna be expensive.
That's true.
That's the only. That's the only thing I don't like. Like I get it. Like, yeah, you gotta get your money back.
Good luck, regular fans. They're not going.
Man, like
the new Bill Stadium's expensive. The new Viking Stadium's expensive.
For a nosebleed.
Yeah, when owners spend money, and I know others.
Hey, if the owner spends all his money, he can do whatever he wants. I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I care. Well, I feel bad for the fans.
He ain't spending all his money on this one.
Nope.
So therefore, he got to be a little reason.
He won't.
They can have a little section.
They'll charge as much as they
can
possibly can.
They can get one section like that's I'm saying on the cheap side for some fans.
I doubt it.
That's messed up.
It is messed up, but that's the way the world works.
How cheap is the ticket to the Browns now?
I don't know.
Depends on what part of the season you want to go. You want to go to home opener, or you want to go in week 16 when they may be eliminated?
Let's go. Let's week 14.
When they play the Chiefs, I know it's for a fact because Darren was in town and we went to Sweet Pork Wilson's, and that random guy that showed up that none of us knew.
That was a weirdo.
He had told me you weren't there. Some random guy just came and I thought he knew Darren, didn't know Darren, just sat with us the whole time. Yeah, had no idea who we were. It was hysterical. But he said he's a Chiefs fan that lives in Medina. And he had bought tickets for the game when they first came out because he thought it'd be a big game. He spent like $160 on decent tickets for him and his son.
$160 for 2 tickets?
I don't know. He said 160. Okay. So I'm not sure if that was per ticket or for both.
Okay.
And he said, had I waited to buy them now, I could have got $15 seats. So
good luck. You can get great discounts when your team sucks. Well, and they're not worth watching. Well, but otherwise, nothing.
Who wants to? I mean, people will go.
But again,
just
if he
to say
pays,
they win.
If Haslam spends his money, then he's going to charge whatever he wants, whether he spends his money or not.
Well,
I'll complain about it less.
Let me make sure I keep my job, dear.
Yeah.
So
all right, Anthony.
I'm not a math expert, but if you guys wanted some numbers about the acres, they paid $31.5 million for the 176 in Brook Park, which goes to about 179,000 per acre. The average in Cleveland is around 54. In LA, it's around 64. So there's about a 10 grand difference between the average of per acre land. So
that doesn't make sense. How is that only 10?
That's according to a quick Google search.
I don't know. I don't buy that. There's no way it's that close. Google don't know what the hell it's
like. According to Land Search right now, the average cost to buy 25 different properties right now is $54,000 in Cleveland per acre.
Where in Cleveland? Like in the city of Cleveland?
It varies depending on if you want farmland outside the city or if you want to come more residential.
There's no way it can only cost 10 cents less an acre. I can't imagine.
No, it's 10 grand.
Oh,
10 grand.
10 grand less per acre. Okay. You know what? I know nothing about housing prices. Maybe that's a lot. That doesn't seem like that big a difference, but maybe that is a big difference. I don't know.
I'm sure LA, if you're building a stadium, is going to charge more than the average.
All right. You know what? Let's talk about another subject that's going to piss me off.